There we go. Go, Deb. You're
All right,
good.
setting up our slideshow first. We're going to go over a few slides and then we'll get into the area report. Welcome to the Area Director Training. As I go through the presentation, you can post the questions to the chat, which we just talked about, which will be monitored by Keith. Okay. Oop, wrong. Okay. All right, time to get started. Maybe you're wondering what we're covering and who I am. In brief, we're going to cover a bit more about me, your value as your area director, the reporting, gathering information, resources, and of course the conclusion. I don't know if I can do it with my left hand.
You can take it as far over to me.
This is what I've done. I don't find it easy to brag about myself. It's really difficult, which is why these were written by my husband. Yes, there's more on the next slide. I have a quick little story to share. Is it about the motor mounts?
No, this is how you get started.
I wanted to share with you how I became a Toastmaster. Before I started, my husband was in Toastmasters. He was in through his work at T. Rowe Price, which was a closed club, and I could not attend. He would always ask me about, can I practice this speech in front of you? Can I practice this one? And I always enjoyed listening to him. Well, one time he did a speech that was just really inspiring and talked about getting out of your comfort zone. And I thought, you know what? I really probably should do that. Get out of my comfort zone. At that point, I was going to school and I thought eventually someday I'm going to need to learn how to talk to people, do presentations. So I decided, why not? Let me go ahead and get started in Toastmasters. The first question is, what value do you bring to the clubs in the district as an area director? Why did you become an area director? Many become an area director for a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. If you were asked to fill the role and didn't know about DTM, surprise, you are taking a big step towards making your DTM happen with the area director role. As an area director, you'll provide a connection to encourage clubs to be high quality, keeping them informed of happenings outside the club, with the district, and with international. You are their primary line of communication. You're interface with the officers and keep them informed. You'll also get information from the club through a number of routes. One of your challenges is to learn the communication styles of each of your clubs and the specific officers. I had some challenges with my corporate clubs. Some can communicate on Facebook or need a lot more time to respond. In some cases, you might even need to reach out to the members in a club to find the best route to reach the officers. I had to do that for one of my corporate clubs. I just happened to know someone that was in that club through her parents that were in another club I was in. They said, oh yeah, contact her, she'll be able to help you out. Many of the expectations about club quality is measured by the Distinguished Club Program, which you may hear us call the DCP. And it also refers to the Distinguished Club Plan. How many of you were involved with the DCP in your clubs? A good part of the area report is related to the DCP. You can help make sure the club knows about this DCP and encourage them to plan it. This helps make the club healthy and serving the members well. Feedback has many parts for an area director. In part, I like to consider it as being a general evaluator for the club, coming to it from an outside perspective. It also gives some accountability to your clubs by knowing that the district and international are looking for clubs to thrive, in part through the DCP planning and through serving the members. You are also providing feedback to the district and international on the thoughts and the techniques the clubs have through the dialogue and through your reports. You connect with your clubs by keeping them informed of the opportunities. A lot of times the members do not have any idea that there are activities and opportunities outside the club. They don't even know they exist or that they can take part. And some of the examples are taking part in contests and by serving as functionary roles in the contest, going to training, taking advantage of education opportunities, as well as serving in our district. Keep an eye out for the members who could be potential area directors next year. Also share new ideas, techniques that they can add to their clubs. A key part of your time as an area director is club visits. 2 visits are required, but we like to see more. Have you looked at the schedule of the clubs in your area? Determine if any of the clubs have conflicting schedules and realize you may need to interleave visits to your different clubs. I actually had 5 clubs and 2 of them met on Thursdays at the same time. And I alternated going back and forth to each one because it's difficult to be at the club at the same time, 2 different ones. It does kind of make it hard. Do you have any personal timing conflicts to making the meetings? And you may need to work with your division director or your peers about assisting if you can't make the exceptions to your personal schedule. If you cannot make it, you can always talk with your peers. I think I had to do that once, and it works out because you can all help each other. That's what area directors are about. It's best not to be drawn into the drama. You can help troubleshoot, but don't take sides. And believe me, there may be a time when you may have to listen to some drama that you weren't expecting, because we all have different personalities and sometimes we just don't always see eye to eye on things. It's best if your first visit is an introduction, not the reporting visit. When I first went to visit a club when I was area director the first time, which were area governors then, I stopped by one of my clubs to introduce myself. They knew I was coming, but when I got there, they seemed very nervous and started whispering to all the other members that international's here, international's here. And I thought, oh, wow, that made me feel really good. You will want to contact them ahead of time and let them find out, as I was just saying, and find out how they want to be contacted. Some people don't mind phone calls. Some people prefer maybe a text message or an email. With COVID, you may need to use Zoom a lot more or other conference software, and some corporate clubs will have limited access, such as a phone-in only for outside participants. I had a club that did that as well. They gave me a phone number and they said, well, you'll be able to call in and hear things, but you will not be able to see, which I thought, okay, that sounds all right. It just seemed a little bit different, but I was able to make connections and hear what was going on, and it was a lot of fun. However, with your initial visit, the club may ask you to do something more official, like an officer installation or taking part in a recognition activity. And just because this is not your official visit, you can still get ideas of your first impressions of the club. It's best to establish a feeling of trust with your clubs. Remember, you're there to support and encourage, not to take over. Now, for your first official visit to the club, this is when you will be collecting information for your first round of reporting. And the first round of reports are due to be completed online by November 30th. However, you will still want to try and visit much earlier than that. Even if you want to get another visit in before November 30th. You can visit as much as you want and your schedule allows. I suggest scheduling an August visit. Take notes. We will cover what goes on the area reports later in this session. See about meeting with the club officers around the time of the meeting if you can, or establish communication for collecting distinguished club planning. The Form 1111 is for distinguished club planning for club officers. You can send them a link to the form, which is a definite good idea. Now let me share some of the international, what international describes for your first visit. Your observations and what to look for on the first visit. What impressions do they make? How do they orientate their members? And what's the atmosphere of the meetings like? Those are a few of the questions that you're going to be looking at. How do they organize their meetings? How many members does the club have? How does the club recognize the achievements? Distinguished club goals. How to help them become distinguished, and discussing the process and reviewing the club success plan. And you can remind them of the deadlines, trainings, education, contests, and ask about their successes, and ask what their goals are and what are their challenges by meeting those goals. How to become the club's trusted resource. You're asking questions about information gathered and observations. Encourage them to ask questions. Ascertain unvoiced concerns. That's a big one, because a lot of times people, they'll really seem concerned, but they're afraid to say something. They'll hold back. And sometimes it's real obvious to see when they do that. You want to make sure that you're hearing that and seeing. Then offer practical solutions. Follow up communications with the club officers. And then use the area director's report. Then after the first visit, you're going to submit the report. You're going to review and discuss it with the division director. We'll talk a little more about submitting that area report a little later. And then contact club president to share your observations, congratulate them on their successes, and identify how the district can support the club, because we are all out there to support all of you. When anything is needed, that's what we're here for. We love to support people. And being an area director, there's a lot of things to do. And after your first round, you'll have a little time to breathe. Let's breathe now. Hopefully you got your first round done early. I suggest trying to do that as soon as you can. You don't want to be on November 29th trying to put the report in, because there might be 4 or 5 other people trying to do it as well. And the system does get backlogged, or it'll slow down and you won't be able to go as quickly as you want to. And you'll have time to help with a second round TLIs, club officer training, and be thinking about your involvement in the contest season, because you do have to plan a contest. And before you know it, it'll be time for a second round of visits and reporting. Now your second round, they're due by May 31st. Again, you want to be visiting sooner if you can. consider thinking around maybe January. The second half of the year can be much busier because we have trainings, contests, and more. And the sooner you check in with the club on their distinguished planning, the higher likelihood of them achieving that. And it might help you too. Now let me share some of what international describes for your first round. What to look for on your second visit. What are some of the similarities you had from the first visit? Because I'm sure you'll probably see a few things. And what issues are unresolved from the first visit? Maybe you will have some, maybe you won't. Which suggestions have been implemented? Have any of your suggestions been implemented? And how is the club process progressing on the DCP? And then acknowledge their accomplishments. You always want to continue to do that. Acknowledge their accomplishments. After the second visit, submit your report and try to do this as soon as you can after the visit. While the details are fresh in your mind, review the report and then discuss the club with the division director. After the second visit, you'll want to contact the club president and share your observations. Congratulate again the club on their successes and identify how the district can support the club. Are there really two official visits? Are the two official visits really enough? Do you think going twice, you're really going to learn enough? Sometimes, but rarely. Often it's important to step up more, because you don't want to go and introduce yourself and never return until the second visit. I don't think as a club you will want to do that, because you're going to be telling yourself, hey, we met an area director and we haven't seen them in 3 or 4 months. So we want to make sure that you show up as often as you can, because it will really build a great relationship. And some of your clubs may be working with a low membership. I know during the summer, sometimes people kind of disappear for a while, go on vacation, and they put Toastmasters at the bottom of the list again. Even a healthy club might ask you to fill in for a vacant or vacated meeting role. It's always best to be prepared to take a role. And make sure you have a pocket speech, or maybe an icebreaker, or a speech that you've done before in one of your clubs. And you can always ask the club if they need an additional person to take part sometimes. I mean, I've walked into a club and they've told me before, oh, we just had a speaker cancel. Would you like to do a speech? And I did end up doing an icebreaker, which was a lot of fun, because then they got to know me. It's not required, but you can always ask, and they may ask you. It's a good idea to visit your clubs more than 2 or 3 times, like we continue to talk about, and it makes them feel connected to you, and it gives you more information the more you get to know them. And remember, at the end of the meeting, they're probably going to ask you for your feedback. What did you think of our meeting? Is there things that we could improve? How did we do? And then be prepared with announcements from the district and international and any other Toastmaster activities which you are involved in, to let them know. There are a lot of details going into the area director reports, taking notes, asking questions, and then entering the information online. Besides the listing on the resource page, you can do a quick Google search for the Toastmasters Area Director Report, and it should give you the link to the Form 1471. That is your visit report, the PDF. While it is editable, it may not save you time depending on your system and how you open it. Make sure to test how it saves before counting on using it as a PDF. The PDF covers all your fields you'll need to enter for the area report. And I'll go over what it is, the PDF, and I'll go over what it is here in just a couple minutes. All right, when you're considering information to put into the area report, there are a few things to keep in mind. You want to make sure you've discussed the details with the clubs and help them become a thriving club. You're not going to be able to fill in every field, but you should try to get as much information as you can. And an empty, a report that's not filled in is not really useful to anyone, and it's not really fulfilling your role. And it's going to make you put something in the field. It's going to make you put something. Even if it's something that you don't know, you can put unknown, non-applicable. But if you really are able to, please fill it out. I tried to do that once, just kind of skipping over it, and it made me go back and put something in there. And then the report is emailed to the club president, the division director, and the trio and international. And international reads all of it. But mostly they're looking for clubs that are doing something very outstanding and innovative. And don't put anything down that is taken negatively. Instead, talk to the office of the president first, because you want to resolve it ahead of time. You don't want to have to put that on a report. Or any of the concerns you might have about the club. And hopefully it's positive stuff. For the fields with places that have lots of text, you can type up thoughts in Word or Google Docs ahead of time. And then it'll let you spell check and give you extra time to collect your thoughts and your words. The online form can time out. Like I was saying at the district training, if you're spending a lot of time figuring out your ideas, it will time out. So you want to try and have as much of that as you can done ahead of time. And each time you switch pages, you are saving the progress. However, it's a good idea to click save as often as you can. Even if it seems like you just did it 2 seconds ago, keep doing it. I've known many area directors who had to re-enter the portion online. It's timed out on me before too. And once you've had that happen to you, it's probably not ever going to happen again. And you should know you can resume editing by entering the club and the same date of your club visit. You only have to submit the area report a total of twice per club. I said previously in November and May, November 30th and May 31st, not for every visit. And access submitting your online area report via the District Central menu item. Your access to the District Central will be open hopefully by the end of this month. Normally it takes until the end of July to get that done. And then your reports are turned on for the access during the reporting windows. And you may not see it right away. If it disappears, then you've probably missed the window for reporting, because it only stays up there for a limited amount of time. A few months. Now I'm going to switch over to the screens and we're going to take a look at the PDF form of the area reports. We're going to go over the fields and the details that you'll be looking for to collect and submit the information.
I need the cursor. Oops.
Oh, where?
Just
Whoops.
leave the mouse alone a second.
Oh, sorry. I went too far. Trying to help. Oops. Do we go back?
That was
okay.
Weird. Hang on.
All right,
Hang on.
I'm not doing the right one.
Just stop moving the mouse. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
PDF is here. Sure.
Deb, you're doing awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I know it's not easy.
No, I enjoy it once I get started. It's
It's
just,
okay.
I haven't done, I need to keep practicing on
No,
present.
you're doing great. You're doing great. No worries.
Thank you. Now, this is what the area director report looks like. Now, maybe some of you have been able to see a copy of this or have been able to kind of review it, and then maybe some of you have not. But this is what it looks like. At the top here, we've got some information that you will fill out. You know, most of this can be self-explanatory, and then again, some of it you really need to pay close attention to. The club number, the club you're visiting, the day you visit, and your area, your division, and of course the district. District 26, yay. Now the first category here is the first impressions. And I don't need to read all these questions, but some of this is just basically yes or no. And all my clubs, and I'm sure all of yours, you're going to mark yes on all of these. Were the guests given information? Are they welcomed? Do they get introduced? Are they invited back? All those really good questions. And the current branded material, what does the club use? Now, most of you all know what the branded things are: the agenda, the signage, guest packets, the banner. Now that we're on Zoom, this may be a more difficult question to answer, but you can get with the officers and say, we know you're probably using this, but during Zoom, we don't put that up. Now, Keith actually did the other night. He hung our banner up just so people could see it. But this one is pretty easy. And then what does the club do well? How can they improve? What can the district do to help the club improve? The membership orientation. How do they orient their new members? Do they have a formal introduction? Do they discuss the education program? And find out the learning needs of the member. And again, you're going to continue to see these three boxes at the bottom of each section. What does the club do well? How can they improve? What can the district do to help us? What can the district do to help the club improve? Now, these three questions are at the end of every section category that we do. So it does sound a little repetitive, but we need to fill that out for each one. Membership orientation. How can the district help improve our membership orientation, or how can the club improve that membership? And what does the club do well with their membership orientation? The next one is fellowship, variety, and communication. How do they retain their members? They're offering warm, friendly, and a supportive environment. And they encourage the learning. Are they making the meetings enjoyable? And how do they communicate with each other? How do they convey messages to the members about club happenings? And how does the club use the international website? Do the members use the branded portal, logos, images, which I'm pretty sure probably most of them do? And how do they participate outside of the club meetings? Maybe they've only done speech contests. Maybe they don't know about the district conferences. Those are all things, notes that you can put there. And if for some reason you don't have, or you filled all this information out, you can use a separate piece of paper to put additional information on. And again, what does the club do well? How can they improve? And then how can the district help? Now the next one is program planning and meeting organization. We have the questions, additional questions here. Yes and no. Are they organized? Are they productive? Are evaluations effective? Are they written and verbal? And the successful club series, yes or no? Have they recently conducted a module? Which the successful club series pertains to the moments of truth. We had our area director come in and do that for us, and you can discuss that with the club. And how are their meeting roles assigned and carried out? Do they just email everybody and say, hey, do you want to be Toastmaster tomorrow? I believe there's free Toast hosts that people use. And then there is one other, Easy Speak, that some clubs may use as well. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with free Toast host. The Easy Speak we did try to use. A lot of people do like it. And some people find it kind of difficult to use. It just depends on the club and what they want to do. Have you seen these 3 questions yet? What does the club do well? And how can they improve? And then what can the district do to help? And a lot of times I will put in this box that they can still continue to support and just be there when you have questions that you may not be able to answer through the other chain of command. Now our membership strength. This is when the club, do they have enough members to provide leadership and filling the meeting and committee assignments? The member experience is heightened. In this section, you consider the questions as they relate to the membership strength. Do the clubs have 20 or more members? Yes or no? And that is something that you can find out either through the officers or on the dashboard. And how does the club promote membership growth? Do they have regular membership programs, building programs? And what do they do to retain their members? This is always the good one to have because we all struggle with membership. And if a club is doing something really fantastic and they aren't losing members and they've just been wonderful the whole time, we want to know what they've been doing to keep those members. They may have some type of secret, we don't know, but let's find out. And then the next one is the members. Are they interested in future leadership roles in the district? We always like to put names down. Now this isn't something, if somebody is interested, doesn't lock you into anything. It's just potential people that may want to serve, or they may want to get more information about it before they say yes. And then what does the club do well? And how can they improve? And what can the district do to help? Our next column is achievement recognition. In this section, these are the questions you want to consider related to the achievement. How are their achievements tracked and recognized? What is the process the club uses to submit award applications? What does the club do well? How can they improve? And what can the district do to help them?
You did have a question earlier about how do we know or learn how they orient new members? How does that?
How they orient.
You don't have to go back, just
right.
answer the question.
Okay, answer the question. Oop.
So usually if you're lucky, you'll get to see it during a visit.
True. Are you on?
Otherwise, you'd have to ask the officers during another time, either through email or a personal meeting with them outside a club meeting.
Okay.
How they orient members.
Most of the time you should be able to see how they orient do the orientation of new members. And if not, you can just go ahead and ask them after the meeting is over.
Yeah, you were most of the way through achievement. There you go. DCP time.
Okay, now we're going to get into the DCP program. It's the club's progress in the Distinguished Club program. It can be found on the website, Distinguished Performance Reports. And do they actively participate? That is something you will find out from the president, the VP of Ed. They'll be able to tell you that information. And how many members do they have at the time of your visit? They may have 20 members, but maybe only 10 people were able to attend that day.
But the important is the total number registered.
But the important thing is the total number of the people registered, members registered. Oops. I think I slid down.
Yeah.
Got to go back. There we go. Doesn't want to stay up there. Now, this is the very important part here. The other pages were very important as well, but this is where you're going to want to help the club and understand what they need to get to the DCP. Now, if it's an established club that's been around for quite some time, they will know these things. The newer clubs will not. They may know some of it, but they're going to need some assistance from you or maybe the division director. Now on the side here, you see the questions, have the goal been met, yes or no? The Distinguished Club goal, geez, I can't talk, the Distinguished Club goal. Additional awards, what progress has the club made toward this goal and what can the club do to meet the goal? And then you'll put the names here and then the dates that they believe they're going to meet that goal. And now that we're in Pathways completely, you won't see any more classic program, as I call it, where we had the manuals and we were doing speeches. This is our first year without that, and now we're going forward just Pathways. So you will need the 4 level 1 awards achieved, and then you will need 2 level 2s, and then 2 more level 2 awards achieved. And then on with 3 and 4, 5, and then if anybody in the club is actually working towards the DTM, and if they plan on getting it by the end of the Toastmaster year. And then 1 more level 4, level 5, or the DTM award. And none of this is able to be left blank. And you want to make sure this gets filled out as soon as you can. Maybe with your second visit, you can set up a time to meet with the officers to get this all filled out. And they should probably be doing this within the club, I would imagine, at any time in August. Now, I know I like to do that with my clubs, is sit down and go over who's going to do what and what goals people have. That way we can stay on track with our DCP. And we want to get that distinguished club credit. I'm sorry, how do I keep doing that? Oops. All right. The next thing is Distinguished Club goal. This talks about the membership for new, dual, or reinstating members, and what progress have they made toward that goal, getting new members. And what can they do to meet that goal, the target date, and of course, has it been met yet? And it's okay if they haven't, you can check no. Are they doing membership drives? Are they advertising online, on Facebook, trying to get their new members? All kinds of different things that the club will tell you that they're doing. Distinguished Club goal. They need a minimum of 4 club officers trained during each of the 2 trainings. We do say a minimum of 4 club officers, but we really, really like to see all 7, because that's really important to tell the club. We had all 7 of our officers trained. It's just really nice to be able to tell the club that you've reached that goal. Because I've seen where clubs have missed it by maybe 1 person. They only got 3 people trained. We really don't want to see that happen. So we need to encourage as often as you can, make sure people get to that training, because we do offer quite a bit of training that people can get to, and we even do a makeup session. And then the same questions again, what progress have they made toward that goal? And what can the club do to meet the goal? And how will you ensure that they all get trained the next opportunity? And find out what help do they need from you possibly to get that done. And then the distinguished club goal. On-time payment of membership dues. Now we know this is a tough one as well. We collect dues twice a year, and the club has to have at least 8 names and payments when they are renewing, at least 8. And then we want to make sure it's an on-time submission. By October 1st, I believe it is the first round of payments due, and then by April 1st.
Mhm.
Okay. And what can you do to help them? What progress have they made towards meeting that goal? And what can the club do to meet the goal? The target date, of course, I know a lot of times clubs will start collecting maybe say the 1st of March, since it's due April 1st. We try to start as soon as we can and not wait till, May 25th to start collecting dues. That's not going to be very helpful. So the sooner you can let the club members know, the better. And they will set target dates, and their goal has been met. Let's hope you can mark the yes box. Oops, darn it, did I do it again? So information about goals 9 and 10. You can see the Distinguished Club Program and Club Success Plan. That's the item 111. I was talking 1111. The credit may be received for only 1 type of education award per member per year per club. A maximum of 6 will count towards the DCP credit. And for the credit in the Distinguished Area Program, you can submit the form online at District Central by November 30th for the first visit, and again, May 31st for the second visit. Those are the dates you want to put on your calendar, and make sure you have your reports in by then. Now, I know when I was doing those reports, I think they have a little incentive program. I'm not sure if they're still doing, but you can win, I believe, if you do it by a certain date, there's each levels, you get a gold, silver, bronze for getting your reports in. And we can talk about that a little bit later too, if you have more questions on how that works. All right, then.
There was a question about a maximum of 6 will count.
Maximum of 6 will count?
That's mostly left over from when we had both the hybrid with the pathways
yes.
and classic. But what they're saying is the 6 education goals, you can't get a 7th education goal by getting another 4 members through level 1. It's the first 4 members through level 1 count for that first goal. And you can't get additional beyond the 6 for the DCP.
Thank you, Keith, for that. Now I'm going to go back to the other page that I was on, and we will continue
Okay, mouse off.
through my presentation.
Okay, let go of the mouse a second.
Oh.
And new share.
Hey, Deb, can you, real quick, I have a question.
Yes.
Allison, can you hear us? Are you okay? Alan, I'm sorry. Because can she hear us?
I lost you somehow, and now I think we just got it back. So it was very strange.
Dear.
I got
Okay.
it. I got it. Thank you.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. We are recording, so you guys can go back and listen to it again. Just to like,
Good. Okay.
because I saw you were having a little bit of problems. That's okay. All right, Deb. Sorry about
Okay.
that. Go
No,
ahead.
that's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
and click share. We can go back to the slideshow.
Okay.
Okay, hang on a second. There you go. That's what we see.
The information is out there. Just need to go get it. Do you know where you can get the information about the clubs? First thought is you can contact your predecessor and current division directors. I know the person that took over for me, I got in touch with her, or she got in touch with me, and I shared information on all the area, or all the clubs that I had, the names of the presidents and VP of Eds, and how they wanted to be contacted. And then she will follow up with those members and then set up times to visit and do her report. And if you don't have that information, or you can't get in touch with your predecessor, you can definitely talk to your division director, let them know you would like that information. That way you can get in touch with them and get your visit scheduled. And the dashboard also is a key location for online information about the club achievements in the DCP program and more. If your clubs have their own public website and Facebook pages, you can see what information is there as well. You can go to the club website and Facebook pages using Toastmasters.org or find a club. That is one of the easy ways to do it. And then go to the details for each club. They have a link on there that says, go to the club for more information. To get to the dashboard on Toastmasters.org, you'll want to select Leadership Central, select Distinguished Performance Reports, and that'll take you to the dashboard. You don't even have to log into Toastmasters.org to use the dashboard. Then you'll want to select District 26 under Region 4. If any of the dates at the top are red, you'll want to select the most current date to get the most current information. The 3 tabs here at the top are the key sections. Club performance is the tab you'll want most often, which is this one here. And you can check on how the area is doing with the middle tab here. For any of the 3 tabs, you'll want to scroll down to your area within your division. And then the reports do, refresh overnight, but it may be held up sometimes by manual processing. And when they close the books on periods, it does get held up. Right now, the dashboard still shows the 2019-2020 data. And that will be updated here soon within the month. You can also see a summary of the club at a glance, 1 per line, which is very helpful. The credit for education goals is changing this year, going to pathways only on based on the education goals. The dashboard does not yet show this. And when you're looking at the club in the club performance tab, you can click on the club line and it'll go to the page for the DCP details for that specific club. And here's what you're going to see how club is doing on the distinguished goals. It's great information. So anytime you have some free time, downtime, go on and just study and look at this information, because it is very, very helpful. And it'll help you when you go to the clubs, and then you can talk to them about the information you see here. You can always print it out or write it down when you go to visit. And keep in mind, a club can only qualify for the distinguished if they have the membership of 20 members by June 30th, or 5 more members on June 30th than the previous June 30th. In the dashboard on the left side of the page, you will see a couple of other links: daily reports and additional reports. Now, each of these reports can help you find out more details about your clubs in the district, about the due renewals, the club officer list status, and then of course the educational achievements. And we could spend a lot of time talking about all these reports, but I'll let you navigate through them on your own, because there's quite a bit of information here. In that way, then you can learn to navigate through all of those. And then finally, a quick note about the additional report page. Well, there are a number of the reports. The one that can be of more interest to you is the area to do report. It'll give you a perspective on where the district, the division, and the area fit in the levels of distinguished. And the key steps can be taken to improve the status. And then you can take a little time to see the details, and you can find the information on these reports. Just take a little time to see the details and look it over. And there is a lot of information out there for area directors. How many of you wish there was a bunch of it all in one spot? Here's the quick list, which are posted on the website: ad.co clubspeak.org. And I'll let you look at that for a minute so you can.
I just sent it in chat.
Okay. Keith just sent it over in the chat, because there's quite a few resources. I know we covered a lot today. However, let me put a digital bow on this presentation. In conclusion, support your clubs in creating a positive member experience. The education program, club leadership, and membership, they really contribute to the club quality. And you want to prepare your visits by building as much trust and gathering information as you can. It will be very rewarding. Trust me, it is very rewarding. And during your visits, continue to keep building that trust, because you are the glue that holds the clubs together within our bigger organization. And you're a critical part of our district. In conclusion, a quick thank you to my husband, Keith, for the help with the slides and support for the online presentation. You will make things happen. Have fun, learn, and share the best that you see. Make it happen.
All right,
Oops.
there we go.
All right, so I know Keith has been monitoring the chat, just like we said, and I think he's monitored most of the questions. So we will open it up for questions for Victoria and I
Yep, I will read the questions that I had. I've answered some of them in chat, but I think everybody should hear the answers. The first question was about the Speechcraft, which we know also now includes the youth leadership. How do you find out about doing Speechcraft and youth leadership?
So we are going to have, I'm taking a note down right now, you guys, so I will not forget to talk to you guys about that. We are going to be creating support. I can't see because of my glasses. I'm sorry. I scratched them really bad, so it's just easier for me to take them off. I know. Okay, we're going to be creating 10-minute videos for you to cover different topics so that you can look at them at your leisure and not have to, you know, sit through a whole entire training. If you do have additional questions, by all means, please reach out. So the Speechcraft, I'm definitely going to make one, and the youth leadership. They're very similar, but I'll probably talk to Deb and Keith about that because both of us have done both of them. And Deb, you did a great job, Deb and Keith, on all the slides and everything. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I definitely want to take some of those for other events that we want to do too, because I really like the graphics on them. So great job on getting all of that. But Speechcraft, just to let you know, that is where you offer free membership for about 6 to 8 weeks to a member that would want to go ahead and participate, but doesn't completely understand everything. Now they do participate, and correct me, on about, 6 speeches or something like that. They get to go on about 6 speeches or possibly more. And when they decide to become a Toastmaster, that credit for those speeches will move over into the path that they decide to go to. Since Pathway Level 1 and Pathway Level 2 is very close to the same on every path, it doesn't really matter what their topic is. They can go ahead and switch that credit over and start Pathways right away. Youth leadership is very similar to the same thing. And what it does is it introduces Toastmasters to young people. Now, Toastmasters cannot accept anybody as a member if they're younger than 18. But Youthcraft is a good way to either get parents or just youth involved in learning how to improve their speaking skills. And it's more of a community outreach to kind of get those young people going. It's not a really large crowd. We do have kits available for free for you. And we do have some in stock still. And I know that we're going to go ahead and probably plan that in the budget. It'll fall under my education. Those are normally about $20 plus the shipping, but we have them already up in the Denver area. And so we can try to get those to you and have you pick them up. If we do order some, we probably might go ahead and have a chunk of them mailed to one area so that we can all pick them up and save on the shipping. But we're definitely, if it's something that you're interested in, I need you to do the research first, find out they're about. It's all on the website, okay? We have been going for about an hour. I want to take, before anybody hops off, I know that a lot of people were here strictly for the area director report. You're more than welcome to stay and talk about different things. I do want to give the opportunity for Beth. Beth, go ahead and introduce yourself, how long you've been in Toastmasters, and what you're about to do for us. I'm super excited. Beth has stepped up to do this. So Beth, turning it over to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Beth Steigerwalt. I have been in Toastmasters a little more than 2 years. Last year, I jumped into area director in August, and I completed my tasks, but I could have used a lot more information. So I'm excited to present on August 6th a training on how to accelerate your success as an area director. And I'll be using an ABC method. We'll discuss access, B for building rapport, and C for collaboration. And the C part is really the training that you need to set up area contests in the spring. And I'm really excited about this. It'll be at noon on August 6th, and we'll have more details about Zoom links and how to access this. But I'm hoping that lots of people will show up and we can learn together. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Great job. And this is the exact opportunity that I really want to give everybody that's an area director. I have a form that I'd like you to fill out on what you would like to offer and kind of what's going on. It is August 6th. It'll be from noon to 1. We are going to record it. We will always record these trainings. I might not necessarily be able to attend them, Beth, but we will have someone attend. With her. I do have a logistics manager, Ann Hill, and she can hop on and we can definitely record this and get it going. So we do have, let's see, we do have some questions. So Keith, I will turn it back over to you real quick. Sorry about
Certainly. There was a question, I don't know if it's going to be for you, Victoria, or if it's going to be for Jacqueline. There's a question about, will there be incentive this year for having all the officers trained?
Oh,
oh, yes. We are working on, I know that we said earlier in the week on Tuesday that we were going to have our incentives done by the end of the week. We're still working on it. So there's yeah, Jacqueline, she's over here waving now.
Hi. Okay. I had to take my picture off of. Anyway, actually, I have the incentives document ready to go. So actually, Victoria, just take a peek at it when you get a chance later today, and we'll get it up on the website. So it is actually ready to go, and that'll be up probably later today or tomorrow. Yes, there will be an incentive for getting all. Did you say all 7 club officers trained? Absolutely, we will definitely offer that because that is above and beyond, even though all club officers should be trained. They should be trained. But since Toastmasters does require the minimum of 4, if you go ahead and get 7 of your club officers trained, you get a little something from the district. So, all right, I'm going back on mute.
And my 2 cents on that is I've seen club officers who we've been going to TLI training before, but when they come back from the training, especially when you get all 7, they're always energized and better connected with each other. So it's really important. You can push that as another reason to go, even if it seems like, hey, I already know what I'm doing. Tell them how important it is to get energized and connect with other people filling the role. They may have information that'll help others. All right, the next question was, when it's talking about meeting with the officers to help fill out those questions on the area direct report, it might be tough to get the entire officers. So they were wondering, could they just do the president, VP ed, and VP membership?
Yeah, I should have made that more clear. The president and the VP of ed are the 2 that you probably want to try and make sure you can reach. The VP of ed, especially for the DCP information. But if it's just the president, they should be able to give you that information as well.
And you can always start an email connection with them separately as well.
So we do want to let you know, even though there is 3 VPs, there is a little bit of order. So VP of ed is your true VP to the president, which means they are the next line of contact in regards. Then the next one would be membership, and the next would be PR, just to let you guys know. I do try to at least email the top 4. We do try to get information. Now, we want to let you know, when Deb and I were area directors, the reports, I think it was longer, wasn't it? I think they've cut back maybe a little bit, but the questions used to be numbered. And we actually have a list of questions that were on the area report that we suggest you email ahead of time and say, can you fill these questions out so when we get together to finalize the report? Now, they did not number the questions this year. Deb and I will get together and we will put the title, because there's obviously a title on each page, and then we will look through and resubmit that list to you and get that out to you within the next week, so that you can send it ahead of time to the officers and say, I need to finish my report. It would help if I could get the answers to these questions. You are under no
Obligation.
No, I know, I'm trying to think of the word. You are by no means supposed to submit the report to them and ask them to fill it out.
Right. No.
And I'm
that's-
saying this
no.
because somebody did that.
Yes, they
So,
did.
and you should be ashamed of yourself. That person's not on anymore, is not an area director anymore.
No.
But when I heard that somebody handed somebody the report and said, "Can you fill us out?" I almost had a heart attack.
Yes.
So
Oh my God.
you can ask them specific questions that are a little lengthy, and say, rather than take up a lot of your time, because most of the time, and I know Deb covered it, you can fill out a quarter of the report by just watching the meeting. You can get those questions answered. There's probably about 10 of them. And you can number them if you want to yourself, so you can keep track of what you want to do. And then when you meet with them to get the answers to some of the other questions, it shouldn't be more than 15 to 20 minutes. So we do try to tie that in at the end of their meeting and say, "Hey, can you stay on for another couple of minutes?" So that you can get that done, just to let you know. So, but by no means, please do not ask them to fill out that report. They will get, and by the way, I'm sure Deb mentioned it as well, and I apologize, I was trying to organize notes. They do get a copy of the report when you submit it. You get a copy, they get a copy, the district gets a copy, it goes to all 3 TRIO members, so we all get a copy. So just remember,
International and your division director.
yes, stay professional. If you have an issue, please come to us. And I'm sure Deb mentioned it takes at least an hour to fill these in. I know I did hear say save, because it's heartbreaking.
I know.
Right, Deb? Been there, done that. So please make sure that you set enough time. If you do a visit one week, set a goal at the end of the week to fill the report out, because you're going to need that time to do it. Please don't wait, because they do not go off the date that you went to the club. They go off the date that you submit the report. Now, we do have an incentive, and I know it's coming out, where if you do your reports during a certain time frame, it's considered gold. If you do it during another time, it's silver. And if you do it another time, it's bronze. You get an actual medallion for turning your reports in during certain times.
I should get something.
If you do the first set of reports in the year, gold, but then you turn around the next time and do silver, you will get a silver. How do I know this? Because I have a silver. Yes. I turned my, even though I visited the club during the right time frame, I turned my report in the silver time frame, and they go by the silver date. So it's a nice little extra thank you for doing your job, and it is a nice little medallion that you can get and hang on your wall and do what you want with. But I'm just letting you know.
Our next question was, what is a reinstating member?
Oh, reinstating member.
Okay. A reinstated member is one that was previously in Toastmasters. Yes, they can find their old number. It's kind of like your social security number with Toastmasters. If they have the number before and they have the same email or the name, that's why it's really important to always try to put your middle initial. They will be able to go ahead and find your other membership. So a reinstated member is one that has been gone more than one period, which is 6 months. So that's a reinstated member. You can get credit as a new member with a reinstated member, but not one that goes from club to club.
Okay. And the only other thing about that is a transfer member will still keep the credit at the club that they paid for last, not at the new club. All right, the next question was DCP credit per person. There's always lots of confusion with does somebody who gets 2 level 1s, does that count? What if they get a level 3 and a 4 and a 5? How does that count towards the club?
I'm going to let Keith answer this because he knows the most, but I'm going to make him look to the right. Thank you, Keith. Look into the camera when you're speaking and let us know. I know it's like we're on the news. No, look to the other side. Go ahead and address it, because I know that you know the best answer on this one.
Well, the best answer is the fact that a person can get multiple levels and it will count for them, definitely. But what it won't count for is it won't count towards the DCP goals for that club if they get multiples of the same thing in the same club in the same year. If they're in more than one club, they could do a level 1 for one club, a level 1 for another club. They can also get credit for doing all multiple levels. So they could get a level 1, a level 2, 3, 4, and 5, and those would all count towards DCP, unless somebody's already done it. Let's say somebody has already done all the level 3s you need in the club, and somebody goes ahead and does a level 3 and a level 4. You can't put in the level 4 until you've done the DCP for level 3, and that will count as an additional award, won't count towards the DCP goal, but it will count towards the person and will then allow you to put in the DCP for the level 4, and that will count towards the club. And the important thing to remind all your clubs is with Pathways, they have to approve the levels, and they also have to go back to the Club Central dashboard and put the education awards into Club Central for the Distinguished Club Plan credit to count.
So Keith, I was a little bit unclear. So if I'm working on 2 paths and I'm only in 1 club, I can't get a level 1 for both of those paths?
You can do it personally, absolutely. Get your level 1s, do the work, get your credit.
But it won't count for the DCP for the club.
But it only count towards one of the level 1s for the
Not
DCP for
both.
the club.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want just one person being able to
Do all
buy
of
4
it.
paths and get all the education goals instead of spreading it to all different members, because we really want as many members getting levels in
Mhm.
Pathways and getting their education, because that means they're participating.
And that was the same thing with the traditional system, just to let you know, that's not a change.
No.
You know, Keith did 13 CCs, which is the old book, a couple years ago, and could have gotten, I know, go ahead and laugh, right? It's funny. So he could have gotten all the credit for the entire club, but that is not what Toastmaster wants to see. It's not the Keith Horowitz club, it's the club that he belongs to. So that's why they want to see, you know, the overall balance on everything. We will get the dates out, Beth, on when the gold and everything. That's part of the incentive, and you will see it this weekend per Jacqueline.
I think one more question.
One more question that was during the presentation, and they were asking, what is a triple crown?
Oh, a triple crown is super exciting.
It-
So
it-
a triple crown is a pin that you can earn, and it has a little crown on the top, and we hand them out for people that have gotten credit for 3 separate educational goals. So level 1, level 2, level 3. That's kind of obvious, right? However, the high performance leadership counts as 1. Then in the new system, and it doesn't have to all be out of the same path. If you started a path and you want to start another one, it's only $20 to go ahead and go online and purchase another path, just to let you know. Keep that in the back of your head so you can let your members know. So any 3 educational awards that you get, if you earn your DTM, that's a goal. So that's also 1. And usually in the traditional system, so in regards to the traditional system, because some of you probably heard, okay, wait a minute, I hear people that are at the end of theirs. The only thing that they have extended for education this year is the club coaching, club mentoring, or club sponsoring, which is part of your DTM, okay? And that's the last goal you need to get in the traditional system to get your DTM. Once you do that, you will get your ALS credit and your DTM credit. So that's 2 separate credits right there, just to let you know.
For your
Those
personal
people,
ALS won't be in the DCP credit this year.
oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. So, but it does get you your DTM, and that's the only 3 positions that if you need to fill and you're in the traditional system. And just to let you know, everybody that needs it, they already know they need it. So don't worry about it. They know what they're working for, and they're going to have to coach a club. Now, sponsor, mentoring, coaching also goes towards Pathways DTM. We will be giving training on what does it mean to be a coach, how do we coach, and so forth. And that falls under my club growth director, not mine, but the district's club growth director, Jeff Ruiz. And I know that he's planning on doing some training on that as well, so that we can help you understand that position more. And again, we will be recording these. I did have somebody that reached, Beth, they just had a question about possibly wanting to help you with your training. I to reach out to you if they would want to help you. Or if you have an idea, like I said before, for your own training, by all means, please reach out to me. Beth, maybe if you're open to that, you can put your email in the chat box for people if they want to present a little bit. And that's what I really want you guys to do too, is also join in. And if it's an hour long, you know, maybe somebody can do a 10 or 15-minute presentation and get your feet wet, because you're probably not, you know, Beth can go over what she's going to cover and so forth, and then help you guys also become presenters. That's what we're looking for, right? We want everybody to feel comfortable presenting and doing that.
Mhm.
All right, I saw that there were 3 other questions that were added after the presentation. How can we as the area director help clubs struggling with membership, especially in today's environment? Does Trixie have some ideas we can share with our clubs?
Trixie, is she there? I know she's kind of running around because she's going on vacation, but if she comes on, she does want to do and present separate training for PR.
Yeah, my video won't go
yeah.
on, but I am here. I will be doing separate training for that.
Hold on.
Okay, Beth put her email address in the chat for anybody looking for it.
Good, thank you, Beth. I appreciate that. That's how we learn and grow together. You know, everybody, I ask people if they want to do stuff. I asked Deb, she's also, just to let you know, we're not talking a whole lot about the contest, because we have another training for you guys in December coming up, and the contests are held after that. And we don't want to overload you with it, but Deb is your chief judge
advisor.
She's going to go over that and what entails and all that. And if you guys want to delegate a chief judge for your contest, you would have them come to that training as well. There's Trixie. Trixie, do you have do you have a date yet, possibly in September, or that we can, like after convention, that we can put on the calendar for you and try to figure out?
We haven't talked about that date yet, but I'm fully open after convention.
Yeah, convention's the last week of August. It is London, UK time, or GMT, which is Greenwich something. Greenwich Mean Time. And we are converting that time on the website, I believe, so that you guys can actually know when the different things appear.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All
All right. There was another question. Who would be the right person at TI to suggest modifications to make the area visit report easier to submit?
We've been asked that question quite a bit.
First, you have to get in line behind the other 165 million people that have asked this before. But
yes,
I think Jacqueline, did you want to say something, Jacqueline?
Yeah, so if you have specific recommendations that you would like to see, I mean, I can always just shoot an email over or something just to say, hey, you know, maybe opportunities for improvement. I cannot guarantee it because I have been an area director as well, and I can wholeheartedly concur with everything that has been said. They have shortened the area visit report just a little, and I do mean just a little. But I don't necessarily see them doing a lot to change that. So,
Right.
Yeah, all we can do is suggest, and you know, hopefully they'll hear us. And but yeah, if you have specific things that you would like to see change, because just saying to change it is not going to be sufficient. What is it specifically that you think can be streamlined? Those are the type of things that, you know, we could take to TI.
And you'll probably figure that out definitely after your first report or even the second. So we take suggestions all year long. I do want to go ahead and focus now on the things that I wanted to share with you as well. Deb, again, great job. Really appreciate it. Love the slides, love the detail. So I want to get everybody used to going. Everybody can see my screen where it says District 26? Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, that's
So I want to really know, it says right here, d26toastmasters.org. I am trying to direct as much traffic as I possibly can to this website so that you will know where things are. A couple of things we do want to let you know. We said it before and we'll probably keep saying it. They have not finished updating the dashboard. We'll go into that in one quick second. However, I want you to go ahead and go to under district and the contacts. This is last year's area directors who handled your area before. You click on that one and it gives you the full list of everybody that did it all last year, okay? And their emails. You cannot click on them because they do not work. You need to write them down on a piece of paper because we don't want people hacking our website and being able to get information. However, let's go ahead and scoot down a little bit more. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. So here's an example, Denver Division. Dave Johnson was last year. Here's D1. So Ray was, here's his email. You can reach out to him, okay? So that's how you kind of find everything that you need in regards to who handled your area last year. Now, the next important thing is that we did, I'm trying to get to the top faster, I know. I can speak, but I am not 100% IT-ish. Dang it. And I'm not on my own computer. So we're going to go back to the top right here, and now we're going to find ours, right? This is our year. And we're going to go ahead and you will see the clubs. Did I hit the right one? Maybe I didn't. District contacts, right? Contacts. Oh, it's taking a while. Okay. So here's, it's taking a while. Here's the current list. This is where you're going to look for the clubs that are in your area. Do not go to the dashboard right now. You've got to look at them here. So we did have to move things around. And this is all the leadership people. Definitely get their contact information if you need something. Here we go. So Karen, welcome. We're so excited that you've joined our group. When you come here, Karen is going to see the names of the clubs that are currently listed in Area 1. This is might not match the dashboard. So this is where you're going to come to find your information. Okay. When you click on the club, we have this really nice link where it tells you how to get a hold of them, what time they meet. And remember, I think I mentioned before this last weekend, please write down when they meet because you need to know when each club meets, what time they meet. We're trying to get, it's taking a while to load the page. We're trying to get a online list of all the Zooms for people that have the visits. They have the same Zoom number. So we're trying to get that list for you guys as well. But you'll see how nice this is that it automatically shoots you to right where it is when you click on their name.
I do have starting of that page, and Jacqueline did ask me to publish that. So I don't have the links fully connected to the club contact links, but
okay,
between those two, they can find the Zoom information for Western and Eastern. I'm still waiting for the rest of the information for Zoom. And I think Jacqueline was handling that to gather it, but it is there if you guys want to use both of those.
Correct. So I'm just letting you know that we did make changes, especially in the Western at the bottom, and I'm not going to scroll down because my computer will make you dizzy, but please come to this list for your clubs, okay? Also, I want to point out, I'm scooting up. Every time I try to grab the bar, it disappears. This is a calendar. This is where you're going to find different training opportunities and different things on what we're doing. So yes, we had a problem today with link because I had an extra link on there and I apologize for that. However, you will see here that on the club officer training that's coming up, this is a little bit different because we're on Zoom this year. So basically, it used to be the TLIs, the Toastmaster Leader Institute training, used to be in each division. There was 8 of them. And some of the divisions would join together and have a big giant one, okay? Those would be handled by the division directors. The club officer training is also handled by the division directors, and it's kind of a makeup session that happens. Because we're on Zoom, now anybody can attend any COT, club officer training, and get credit for their officers. We have one, you'll come here, there's the registration for the Zoom. We have one here, July 30th, okay? We also have, you click up here for the next month. We also have one coming up, that's the 30th. We have another one on, where is it? The August 16th. We also have one, I believe, on another day, and it might not be up yet. But all of them do.
August 22nd.
What, Meredith?
August 22nd. That's
Right. Oh, right here. Yes, thank you. We're still working on getting the Zoom link so we can get it right, just so that it's, you know, okay. You'll see a lot of training on here and different things that need to be done. This is our training, just to let you know. That has nothing to do with you guys. It's district leader training. So this is the calendar, though, where you're going to come for stuff. So let me show you a little bit more stuff that's coming up. We will have a DEC meeting on Saturday, September 9th. And we will be sending out emails to remind you and get these all done. The thing is, we cannot keep sending emails because people, 1, will ignore them, and 2, we can't do that to our system. It's the best way that we can do it. I do want to point out one other date. October 10th is our Hall of Fame. It appears that we will not be able to get in public this year again, so we are setting up a virtual. This is where we're going to honor and recognize everybody that got an award for last year, education, area director of the year, division director of the year, and so forth, okay? Now, we are on the main website here, and Deb already covered quite a bit of stuff on where to find your, you know, she found the different links. Definitely go back and take a look at that video near the end. But the distinguished program reports, that's where it's going to get you to where you want to go. You can scroll down. We're in region 4 right here. If you don't remember that, you can go ahead and go over here and simply put in District 26. She talked about these reports over here on the left. There's the daily report and the additional reports. So this is where we currently stand. You see how this says July 13th? That is the last day that they have put in. When they update everything, it will go to the next day. Now, one thing I do want to show you, and there we go. If you're in the Western Division and you don't want to scroll through everybody, collapse and go straight down to Western, go straight down to Southern, okay? You can do that in almost any of these sections, just to let you know. And these are the different reports that we were talking about. This stands that this club was presidential. This club was presidential, presidential, presidential. And because 3 in one area was, this area actually is presidential. So this is select. You'll see a D for distinguished next to some of them. These ones right here that are suspended, they are not part of the area. They will come off in September. You will not see them anymore, just to let you know. We're talking about additional reports, and I'm just showing you the links on how to get there. This is something that you're probably going to go ahead and use closer to the end of the year, and we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. You see how long it's taking to pull up, and it might be because people are in here looking for it. But the area to-do list, where you talk about what you need to do in order to get your area to distinguish, that's something you're going to work on the last 6 months of the year and or 4 months when you get closer. So that's where this is going to come in, and it is not pulling up, but we'll go over that when we have training in December again. Due to COVID, you see, just like a club, you know how we talked about on a club, let's show a club real quick as an example. They started off with 22 at the beginning of last year, okay, July 1st of 2019. They ended the year with 13. So it says here you have to have 20 because they're already over 20. They only need 20. If they were at 13, right, which they're starting this year, they only need to grow by 5. So this right here is very similar to the entire district. This is what our dashboard is. So we did lose 30 clubs. Right now, we still have not heard from some, so that's why they're not on there either. We might be able to get some of those back. This has to do with payments. This tells me that you guys are still getting new members and new members are coming in, so I'm super excited about that. And then distinguished, we needed 78, we're at 62. But that's kind of how to read the dashboard a little bit. We will cover that again because some people are like, okay, I'm not used to doing that. And we'll do that again. The other thing I just wanted to talk to you guys about is,
Somebody asked, what happens if a club doesn't meet membership of 20?
Okay, there's different levels. A club has to have a minimum of 3 people in order to stay on the books. And what I mean by that is I have several clubs that are 0 right now, and a lot of those are corporate clubs because they're just not participating in Toastmasters. And I'm still reaching out to them to try to talk to them about that. 3 is low. 8 is okay, they're eligible. They're considered now an official club. So I think that's low, actually. 3 is anything below 8 is ineligible. And then if a club doesn't meet 20, that's fine. You're still a club as long as you're above 8, okay? So we're gonna have a lot of trainings on open houses, like Trixie said, about different PR ways that you guys can find new members and do new members and so forth. We do want to encourage clubs to go to different, to do the Zoom website and come into the website. Everybody has access to the D26, not just area directors or district people. Everybody, every club member, every member of Toastmasters has access to our website. Whenever this. I'm trying to make sure. There was somebody on the line that has a phone number of 832-281-6087. I want to make sure that they get credit. So I just wanted to know who it was so I can label them properly. If they can unmute and let me know. They're on the phone, obviously. Sharon, did you have anything that you want to share that you felt was a hurdle last year and how you overcame it, or what to keep your eyes open for, Sharon?
Here I am. Hello, everybody. Well, in the beginning, I felt a bit overwhelmed because I didn't know the big picture of what I was responsible for. So after some digging, and I found a guideline from Australia for what the area director is responsible for month to month to month. And that really was like a golden nugget. So my, at the time, division director, Bonnie Ann Smith, took the time to update that for our district. And what that did, and she's passed along to all of our area directors, but what it did was it helped us to know, kind of focus on each month and what we would be responsible for as an area director. That was very helpful. Mm-hmm. That document, should I pass that along to somebody somebody like you, Victoria, to have available?
Yeah, and yes, and we can also pass that along to Trixie. You can CC Trixie as well.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at it. And we are trying to create a resource tab on the main website so that you can find videos, forms, all sorts of stuff that will help you understand what you need month to month. What we really want you guys to focus on is just the next 6 months. I don't want you to keep looking at the whole year, okay?
Right.
Just take it 6 months at a time, month by month. And then when we come back together, and that is the first Saturday in December, that's when it always is. Don't know if it's going to be in person. Don't know if it's going to be on Zoom yet, but it will be the first Saturday in December, and we will go back over the next 6 months. Yes, Sharon, that would be great.
Okay, and the other thing, when you were speaking about those 10 or so questions, were you referring to the 11 questions that you had referred? Yes. Okay, then you already have that covered. That was the other thing, is there are certain questions on the area club report that commonly you're not going to observe when you go visit a club. And there are those questions that Victoria had mentioned that you can email ahead to your club presidents or VP of Eds and get that information. Then when you're filling out your report, you just refer to that and write that directly and exactly how it's stated from club officer. And it makes your job a lot less frustrating on those questions and just much easier.
Okay.
Those are the couple things that came to my mind in the early stages of area directorship that I felt were very helpful.
Great. Thanks, Sharon. And she did an excellent job last year.
Maria, would you like me to help you put together a poll for what people are looking for webinars?
Yeah.
Like what do they want to hear? Like I have one for VPPR and I thought, oh, maybe you would like that too. Like, what do you guys want to learn? So we're giving them what they want to hear.
Yeah, and we did do that in December, and I do have a lot of questions already. Okay. So what I want to do is kind of address those, because I'm sure you guys do have a lot of different questions, and hopefully we will get them all answered. I know that I can do a poll. I'm not sure how to, because I have the capability of doing that, but we do already have a list available, which I'm sure might duplicate some of the questions that you guys have. We have 15 minutes left. Please let me know if you guys have questions. Deb went over that this year, our goal is to completely support you guys. We want everybody to get all the incentives. And so, yeah, Karen, we could probably do a new poll. Trixie, can you have access to that, or can I make you a co-host? Trixie, you're on mute.
Make me a co-host. Yeah, that space bar works sometimes and it doesn't. Make me a co-host and see if I can. If not, then we can send it out or post it on the Facebook page. We could do like Survey Monkey.
Yeah, why don't we do that, Trixie? Because you're used to doing it that way. So we'll do it on Facebook. Can you put in the chat box with the Facebook, the title is, I just had something in my head and I lost it.
Victoria?
Yes.
For a sec, I've seen a couple of questions about the club officer and membership list. So right now, the dashboard again is not available just yet from TI. So right now, the only people who have access to those lists are the TRIO members. What we've been doing, we've been sending out those lists to your division directors. So if you have not received a list for your particular area, please reach out to your division directors so that you can receive those lists so that you can get started. When the dashboard becomes available, and fingers are crossed that they are true to their word, supposedly it's supposed to be by Tuesday, July the 28th, when everything goes live, when all of the year-end and month-end processing has taken place. If that is true, then per Deb's instructions on the screen, you'll be able to log into District Central and be able to download your reports from there. It won't say lists, it will say reports. And so then you'll be able to download your membership and your club officer list for your area only. But in the meantime, please check with your division directors.
And if you notice, remember how we talked about the realignment? You might want to be proactive and tell them, I need a membership list for this, 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 and this. So they know exactly what to get you, because they might have to go to a different division to get that information. They might not have it. So maybe make a list of the clubs that you want the membership from. I know what I was going to say. So I know Deb talked about, and what we really want to encourage you guys is we did give a tool, and I will get that out to everybody else, the area success plan. And I want you to work on it. This year, it is a tool to help you succeed as an area director. It is not mandatory that you turn it back in. Is it something we would like to see? Of course. Please turn it in to your division director. And maybe you can't fill the whole thing out and you just tell them, this is the area I want to focus on for the next 6 months, then do that. Just go through the thing and find it, okay? We're encouraging the clubs to do the same thing. The club success plan is huge. I don't know why it's so big, but it is a really big report. So same thing. Hey, where's an area you want to work on? Just fill that section out and get it to me. It is a tool this year. It is not mandatory, but we do believe that it will definitely help you succeed. So what we want to do is we want you to introduce yourself to the club if you haven't already. And I know we just got some new area directors. That's why I'm going over this again. Introduce yourself to the club. Attend a meeting with nothing but just watching, and then do your area report. Like I have joked before, when you grew up as a bad kid and you get called, or somebody comes and visits you at your house, you get all nervous. Oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? That's me. So when you start to just go and watch them and attend and know that you're just there to support them, it's like, hey, there's Beth, she's our area director. You know what I mean? So they're very happy, very welcoming, and definitely want your input. And, you know, we're not there to tell them what to do. We're there to help them, lead them in the direction they should go. Pretend they're teenagers and they're going to fight back from the get-go and just gently guide them in the way you want them to go. You're going to have some, just like a teenager, if you've never had one, I already know what I'm doing. I've done this before. We're presidential. We don't need any advice. Just say, okay. And then that will be your easy club. But you still want to introduce yourself and do what you want to do, because there are clubs out there. We have presidential clubs that have been there for 20 years. They've been presidential for 20 years. They know what they're doing, but they still should be very gracious to you. That's how they've been presidential for 20 years in welcoming people, okay? Any other questions? Okay, so if you have an educational session idea, please reach out to me. It will tell me that you have an idea. I'll send you the form that I would like to have them filled out. I do submit them. Jacqueline and I review them so that we can make sure that we're not getting double ideas, and we could tag team people and do that. If you want to be a part of any kind of training and you want to be just a little bit of a helper, please, by all means, feel free to do that. We do have the Hall of Fame coming up, and I am looking for support in different positions, kind of behind the scenes in that, and I'm starting to organize all that. I am submitting my suggestions to Jacqueline, and then once we get that all going, I'll definitely reach out and let you know how I can get some help doing that. And it's a really good way to kind of dip your toe into a little bit more of what goes on behind the scenes in the district. Jacqueline, I sent an email out to you guys. How many, and I want to see by raise of hands, maybe just a little, you know how you can do your little, what is it, reactions, thumbs up. How many people got the email where I said, hey, find a friend to join you on this journey? Did anybody get that? How many people got that? Good. We are still looking for 3 more people, 3 or 4 more people to fill area director reports. So if you have someone that's like, hey, what's that about? Tell them, guess what? You can go on the journey with me. And I have the 4 positions we still need to fill, 4 or 5, and a couple people that still didn't make it here to do training with them. So they get a special 6 only training with me. and we'll go over stuff. So I'm gonna have one more training session. So it's not like they're missing out on anything. Please try to find somebody and throw the name to Jacqueline, not me. Jacqueline. Okay, I will forward it to Jacqueline, of course, but she's the head honcho. She wants to go over with them the responsibilities and education and so forth, just like she did with you guys. So please bring a partner along. If people think it's painful, then go through with somebody else. No. It'll be easier because you'll have a couple of people that'll be able to do that. Any last questions? I do not want to keep you guys here any longer than I have to. And I have stuff to do. I finally think I get to organize my craft room. But any questions? Comments? Also, please reach out to your fellow area directors in your division. And hopefully you will be having council meetings. A council meeting is where your division director gets you guys together and talks about training, whatever you need, and will relay it back to me. If you do not have a council meeting scheduled yet, feel free to tattle and tell me, because I will reach out to the division directors. That's just really important. I had them when I was a division director. I've been in your position. I've been an area director. I've been a division director. I had council meetings every other month. And I know it sounds like a lot, but we got so close by reaching out and having each other's back. Hey, I'm not feeling well. Can somebody go do my area report? That's the kind of rapport we built with each other. And I think that's what really made Southern Division stronger than it's ever been, is really getting together and getting people to really support each other. And that's what we want all across the entire district. You know, Sharon's here because she continues to be a part of that real strong adhesive that we built in the division and district and so forth. Any last questions? Feel free. You guys can unmute yourselves and maybe just talk to each other, introduce each other. Happy Saturday, good vibes. Jacqueline, thank you for staying on. Any other questions, anybody? We're good. Welcome, Grace. Welcome to the craziness.
This training was so super thorough that the questions just don't need to be there. I think so many things were covered. And it's kind of one of those, I don't know what I don't know until I find out that I don't know it and I need to find the answer.
Right. And, you know, I really would like to have another one of these where we all kind of get together instead of just the council meetings. So I'm thinking possibly in October and or November, because we kind of slow down a little bit in November and December, just a tad because of the holidays. But I think us getting back together would be awesome. To be able to just get together and let's say, okay, you guys have been doing it long enough. Now, what are some of the other questions?
Tori, I had a question. When you were going through the District 26 calendar, and I heard you say, oh, don't worry about these don't apply to you. But I was just wondering, was there a code or something we should look for to?
You know what? Yeah, I saw that and I was thinking that's a great idea. If we put AD in front of some of the training, it might help you guys know kind of which ones to attend. Right now, anything that says COT is the ones that you're going to want to direct your officers to, just to let you know.
Okay, so COT
is the club officer training. I need to have as many officers as I can get trained before the end of August. Okay. Anytime, and I'm sure we mentioned this before, just real quick, make sure you blind CC anything that you send out to your officers, even club to club. Just blind CC and send it back to yourself. Do not release people's emails. I know I did it the other day with area directors and I completely forgot. So all you salespeople, do not download.
I have a question about that.
I guess I'm.
Hold on, Diana. Yes, okay. Diana. Hold on one second. Yes, Diana.
So when you were going through, it sounded like you were saying like, here's some things you need to have on your calendar and we're not going to send you emails, but I'm just trying to figure out, how do I know what things I should plan for so that I'm responsive and responsible?
You know what, and I know we use a lot of acronyms. We do send out email blasts to let you know when you specifically need to be in training. So December, the first Saturday of December is another must for you. The COTs are there for your officers.
Okay, so right now those are the only 2 set dates that we know about.
Correct. And
Okay.
the Hall of Fame,
Thank you.
of course, I would like as many people as possible to go to the Hall of Fame. Yes, Sheree.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that actually you said about the blind copy. I had an interesting incident with that. I blind copy everybody because that's out of habit. One of my club replied with all the members on the CC email, but the question was only to be PM. So I, put the blind copy back again because they were looking at certain emails. I found them to be marketing emails, so I turned it off. Some officers got offended, so be careful how you play.
Right. And you know what? And just to let you know, if we send out an email from Toastmasters, it will have the banner on the top. And if you decide to unsubscribe or opt out on the bottom, you are not opting out for just that one event. You are opting out for all the rest of the emails. And so when you say I'm not getting an email and you have to get it from another officer, please make sure that you're careful with that. I know, Jacqueline, you have a comment about that too.
Actually, I had a comment about upcoming training that I want you all to be aware of. I know there's a lot of questions about getting back to in-person meetings. And so there is a district statement out there on our resource page where it says online meetings. You'll see kind of the district stance on getting back to in-person meetings. And I'm saying all that to say, as we get back to in-person meetings, then there will be the expectation that you're attending these clubs in person. And so with that, you might be in a remote area. You might be somewhere where you're going to incur some, significant mileage, or you may incur some parking fees and the like. So what I'm getting to is we're going to have a training on August the 4th at 7 p.m. regarding, that's okay, regarding reimbursement procedures for area and division directors. And, so those of us conducting district business, you as well, Trixie, in your role as PRM. So we're going to have a training conducted by our finance manager, Tom Mars. I will send out an email this week about that. That is something that you probably do want to attend, especially if you are someone whose clubs are pretty spread out and you're going to have to get there. You're going to want to attend this training. It'll be scheduled for an hour. It might not take an hour. Tom is a lot like me. It's like, if we could get it done in 45 minutes, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, we're going to pop in and just give you a little bit of information about that. So
August 4th.
August 4th at 7, and it's on the calendar, and I'll get you an email out this morning. And I'm sorry, Victoria, I'm just reading something on the screen. When clubs—
No, that's fine. So it's 12:01. Like Jacqueline said, we don't like to keep you late. I highly suggest going forward, please log on 10 minutes prior to any meeting. We started a couple minutes late because a lot of people were not logged in, and because technological issues always happen. Any meeting that I run, I do not have a waiting room, so you just can get straight into the meeting. We do have a COT that Keith and Debs, our advanced club, is putting on. It's being hosted by S Peak Leaders. I'm the treasurer. I hold all the money. No. So please join us for that event. If you guys need to go, please go. If you have additional questions, I will be happy to stay here for another 10, 15 minutes or so. I don't mind doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for giving up your time to get more training, learn more, grow more outside of the box. I am looking forward to it. I really want to meet all of you face to face. and give hugs. I am a hugger. I'm pretty tall, so I do like giving hugs. But thank you, thank you, thank you, and love you. And they are disappearing.
So Victoria, can I go ahead and answer and ask a question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. My phone fell into the back seat of my car, and I just couldn't grab it. So I stopped and grabbed it just in time. So I had a question from about an hour and a half ago, and
Okay.
When Deb was talking about the reports, and don't put anything don't put anything negative on them. But if it's something as basic as, you saw that the club did not welcome the visitors or something like that, and that's a question, that's a direct question that's on the form, I mean, you're going to say no, correct?
Yeah.
Deb, I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that.
I believe it would be appropriate for you to say no.
But you could also say,
Oh, really?
turning it into a positive statement and say, I'm
Right.
looking forward to seeing them welcome members at future meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but go ahead and say no, and say I look forward to seeing them. Okay. Yeah, but I mean I want to make. Listen, guys. I'm a huge positive person, and
Right.
and I'm all about encouragement and spreading the light. Right. that is
So
my
you
vision,
can
or that's
also-
my mission in life.
You can also kind of get specific and say, at the meeting that I attended, I did not see that. So
Right.
that doesn't, so
Like
that
that.
when they read it, that does not always imply that it's something that does not
Right.
happen. Because
Every
they will get defensive and say, no, we do. So always try to say, at the meeting that I attended. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That is,
That's good.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
point.
that's the way to do it.
Mhm.
Right.
All right, Meredith.
Right.
Oh, I'm glad that you were able to come and see us even though you're driving, so.
Oh, no. This has been awesome. You don't understand. What, 2 hours on the phone? It went by so quickly, and I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm like, 100 miles into Kansas now. This is awesome.
I'm so glad that we could entertain you while you're driving.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Are you kidding me? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm 80 miles from Hayes, for crying out loud. If anyone's taken this drive, it's a big deal.
Right? Well, we
yeah.
can't talk you through the rest of your trip, trust me. Good thing you're not going through Wyoming. Because
Hey,
Wyoming.
you gotta do Kansas, that's the most important.
Oh, my gosh.
Anybody else have
Oh,
any
my
other
gosh.
questions?
Is there anyone else on?
Yeah,
Anybody
there
have
is.
questions?
Nobody said anything so far, but go ahead if you have a question, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I was thinking about the visits and different ways to skin the cat, if you will. So, like, if you were wondering what their kind of onboarding or their visitor orientation looked like, could we literally say, hey, take me through your, what you would do if I were actually,
By
a
all
full
means.
visitor?
I keep forgetting you can't see us because we're shaking our heads. By all means.
Right.
Oh,
By all means, you can definitely do that. And I know, when you go in person, they can hand you a packet. But when you're on Zoom, you're kind of like, do you have a link? Can you send me what you give to them in the chat? Yes, Jacqueline. She has her hand again. Yes, Jacqueline. Oh, you're leaving? Oh, bye, Jacqueline. Thank you, babe. Have a good one.
Bye, Jacqueline.
Yeah, so I mean, I know that there's some clubs that actually have the guests stay and kind of give information. So there's no harm in asking, definitely. What do you do to orient? You don't have to always see it. And sometimes there's not going to be any visitors. So how are you supposed to mark that on your report? That's when you just ask.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just ask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, and so that's how I thought I would approach that. Well, there weren't any because there's so fewer visitors on Zoom.
Right.
And so because of that, there aren't a lot of visitors. I mean, we've been lucky. We've actually gotten 2 new members.
Oh, good.
I have no idea how that's happened, but that's been wonderful. But the fact is, there are there are far fewer visitors now that we're meeting on Zoom. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And I
Right.
feel like we need to keep that light sharp, you know?
Yeah.
So
We're also going to be we're going to be reaching out to clubs, like I said, that are presidential and that have been doing it a long time, and have like a Q&A session with them and say, okay, what do you guys do? What are you doing? How often do you do it? I know in SPEAK Leaders, we chartered 5 years ago, 4 years, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And we've been presidential 6 times, right?
Wow,
5?
that's wonderful.
5, but yeah.
I think
I think 5 or 6 times we've been presidential. But you know what? We push right up to the last minute to get that last member, to get that last thing going.
like Victoria did this time. She got us that one last member.
You darn skipping. Guess what? That was Christina. You know,
Yeah,
they're like, we need one more member to get the 4 members, right? We need one more member for 4. We need one more member for 20. And I was out with the area directors going, who wants to join our club? We're an advanced club. We have so much leadership in this club that comes from Southern Division.
Yeah,
and she's like, yeah, I want to join. And I told Keith, I got her. So that's what you have to do, though. You know what I mean? Always project the clubs. And we're going to talk about this in open house stuff. And I know Jeff will talk about it too. What do you guys do? We don't mind bragging about our club. We have so many past leadership area directors, division directors, and now me, the trio member in our club. We love giving advice and helping and mentoring, and we mentor like so many people. And it's awesome. I mean, we've gotten great people like Sharon. Sharon's still here wanting to do more. She's not a part of our club yet, but she gives a lot, and we do a lot, and we support. And that's what we really want to get to all the other divisions and everything. Right, Sharon? When are you coming to our advanced club?
Yeah.
Yes, this year.
Good.
I commit. Okay.
Send you the link.
Yeah, just come visit.
Anybody else have any questions?
Victoria, I was going to offer myself to you. The only club I've ever been in is a corporate club, and our club has taken this pandemic in a new way to help understand what is required of this new world we're living in, and taking that as an opportunity to talk to our employees on how are you doing in your meetings? How are you doing your sales finals in this virtual world? If you need to hone that step, this is what we can offer you. So if you want to ping me with anything, I'm happy to help. We're still struggling with membership. Don't get me wrong.
No, but what we want to do too is, and I still have till the end of August, so I'm still working on it, but I got a list of all the corporate clubs, and a lot of them are 0. So I want to have corporate club officer training during the middle of the day. Since their employer said, yes, they can be a part of Toastmasters, while they haven't had their normal meetings, I want to get the training in and get them involved and engaged again. Yeah, and I know it's hard because there's a lot of Zoom meetings going on and people are like, I don't want to do another Zoom. But this is a relaxed Zoom. This is not a work Zoom.
Right, and our immediate past president, Greg Howell, he's the one I'm trying to pull on my journey with me to area director. He's resisting, but I'm trying. He also would love to be involved in that Q&A for the corporate club. I think when we go to the COTs, we feel like everything is geared towards the public clubs, and we have a unique set of challenges as a corporate club. So I would love to help partner with getting corporate clubs maybe a little bit different messaging. So
we want to come at a more professional, like what is it going to do for me in my professional life? And we want to hook that to each officer position. By being president, what is it going to get me? By being VP of Ed, what is it going to get me in my work? And really focus all the professional on that. That was something, that was my goal before COVID even hit, that I wanted to do when I became PQD. So what I want to do with you is, and if we can set up a Zoom meeting with this gentleman and talk about what the approach is and how we're going to do it for all the corporate clubs, because I'm sure the corporate clubs, in all honesty, are still the same. Everybody's going to have the same goal about wanting to move forward in their career, or how can I make my work easier, or what skills can I develop in order to do that.
Right.
So the three of us, or, you know, four of us, my logistics manager too, can get together and really hone in on an agenda and a program for that, and then put it on in the middle of the day. So I think that if we do it early enough, let's say the third week of August, because the last week is convention. It's kind of during the day though, so I don't know, we might be able to squeeze it in. But what I'm saying is, just say, hey, we're having a corporate officer training. We want to re-engage you. We want to re-engage all your members, have everybody attend. I mean, is that a lot? Yeah. I mean, if all the members attend. Oh, I forgot one other thing I got to tell them too. So one thing, Karen, because you're on for that, I forgot to say that Susie Overton has a 10-minute video on our website about pathways. And somebody reached out and said, I don't know that much about pathways. I don't even know how to get started. I directed her to Susie's video, and I said, homework, do this first, and then come back to me and let me know what you need, and I'll be more than happy. She said the video covered everything.
Nice,
so
nice.
That's what I want. I forgot to tell everybody. That's what I want, and I'll send an email out to everybody. I want every club to watch this video. It's 10 minutes, so it's really one speech and one evaluator time in a club meeting. Start off the meeting with that 10-minute video to help people re-engage in pathways. We need to get 100% of our members on pathways.
Yeah.
And right now, 60% of our new members are not on pathways. And why, we don't know. But that's what I really, really want to do and I forgot to mention it because there's so much stuff going on. But I'll send the link out to everybody to watch Susie's video. She's also willing to do a couple more videos. I know Keith knows a lot about pathways as well. And what we want to do is really have what I would dream of is having a 5 to 10 minute video on each level, what to expect, and have that in our resource. So that when people start to say, what is it going to be about or whatever, is just go to the video, go to the resource library where you can find more information. But I'd love to get together with corporate stuff. So yeah, you get together.
Actually, one of my clubs is a corporate club.
Right. So you get together with this other guy, tell him what we were talking about, reach out to me immediately, and we'll set a Zoom time up in the evening and sit and talk about how we can do that, because I've been looking for some support, and anybody else that wants to help too, by the way, you know, Keith or Deb or whoever. We definitely want to approach the entire, and I call it CCOT for Corporate Club Officer Training. So a CCOT is what I want to try to start putting on the books now, so that we do them twice a year, you know, and if we have to have 2 CCOTs, no problem. Right. I would love to do that. We'll probably get 1 out this time and maybe 2 next time, but why not have somebody? And I think it's great, Karen, that you're like, hey, we want to approach it very professional, you know, come professional, dress professional, not in our jammy jams and all that other stuff. You know what I mean?
3 years ago, our company, because we are spread out across the United States, we actually had 3 different Toastmasters clubs 3 years ago. And now our chapter is the only one left. All of them, the rest of them shut down, and the one in Kansas just shut down in like June. And I'm just disheartened, because what a great opportunity to practice what we need to do every single day in our corporate world.
And by practicing here, they can start coming to your meeting to get re-engaged. So you know, our theme this year is re-engage, re-energize, and rejuvenate. That's what the R to the 3rd power. So that's what we want, Jacqueline, I know, and stuff, that's what we want to start conveying, and so that we can do that and really start moving forward. And I will start finding people to be a part of the CCOT training, because we do want to approach it an entirely different way. It's all going to be professional.
Because like dues are just so different, varied with corporate clubs. Like ours only does 50%. Another club pays $1,000 for every path that you're, every level that you complete. They actually pay out money to the associate.
What company?
I don't know. It was, I know, it's crazy.
But that is total support.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that would be awesome to give ideas to other corporate people to approach their people. That's why it's so important for us to have the CCOT. While it is for officers, but why not invite everybody that can come and just to do that? Sharon, did you have something to say? You turned your camera on.
I do.
Yes.
That's really, that was what I was going to mention, is somehow getting the corporation on board to give a viable incentive to the employee, because they're paying these employees to do it. And mostly I find in the corporate that
the first 10 minutes of the CCOT to hear about what Toastmasters wants to do. And then once the training starts, they can leave. Do you know what I mean? So that's something definitely that we can do. Karen, what are your thoughts? You know what? I'm recording this. Let me stop it. Hold on.
Hey, Victoria.